What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for checking out another video. I am headed to the river for a kayak day and I'm just going to keep it simple. Only brought 3 rods with me, chatterbait, spinnerbait, and a spinning rod for some soft plastics. So I'm going to keep it simple, go out, fish for a few hours in the kayak, bring you guys along with me, and we will see what happens. The wind is pretty bad today, I'm not gonna lie. So if you see or you don't hear very well, that's why. So I just want to warn you about that. But yeah, hopefully we can go down the river and get on a few. See you there. For a day where the wind is blowing, you know, for a day where the wind is blowing 20 miles an hour, it's manageable. There we go. Oh, barely hooked. Come here. Just backlashed a little, but it's fine. Alright. There we go. Hey, the Slobberknocker. I forget the exact color of that, but fish number 1. This is a pretty good one too. I mean, I'm just guessing here, but maybe a pound. Decent length. Actually, let's get a length on it. Let's practice that while I'm here. Oh, I'm probably gonna regret doing this. Not having this set up before. I'm like all kinds of jacked up right now. All right, fish, close your mouth. Close your mouth. There you go. That is a 13.5 inch fish. All right, that's awesome. Paddle out here really quick. I gotta get this fish back in the water. Let's get a picture really quick. All right, let her go. Back down in it. All right, fish number 1. Guys, where I'm living at right now in the Ozarks, I live in Ozark, Missouri, which is just south of Springfield. And I'm not gonna lie to you, this stretch of the Finley, because I'm on the Finley River, I'm mostly fishing the Finley River. Sorry, I'm really shaky. This stretch of the Finley River is like my favorite to fish. Now, I've not fished a ton else in this area yet. I did do some fishing at Lake Springfield last summer, but I'll be honest with you, like I just fished from the bank and didn't really have a ton of chances to do that. So I mostly fished here at the Finley. And this stretch, like back there where I was talking to that family at the there's like a slab where you can come up and park at and just fish off the slab. From that slab kind of up here in this little creek arm all the way back to, there's like a beaver dam that I try not to go to because beavers are like really territorial and they're just jerks. But this whole stretch here, I try to fish as often as I can because I love it. It's like fishing the rivers and creeks that I grew up in, right? So I grew up in the Ozarks, but in Arkansas, fishing like the Buffalo and the White River. Lots of creeks down in that area. You know, areas that are just like this. Small water, shallow power fishing. I'll be honest, that fish did not hit it that hard. It just kind of slipped it. Man, big gust. Just blew me way out of position. It wasn't a big bite. I just felt pressure on it, which, to be fair, with bladed jigs, a lot of time that's how it is. You just feel the weight, right? You're reeling it, they eat it, you feel the weight of it. That's kind of how that bite was. I just felt some weight, so I kind of leaned into him. Didn't give him a big hook set or anything like that. He was right there in that shade in these trees, and I'm betting there's another one up there. Wait for the wind to die down just a bit. I don't think the water temp is quite high enough yet for them to be on beds. I brought a finesse setup. I brought some stuff for flipping, but I just don't think we're at that point yet. Alright, well, the wind's not going to let me settle in that spot quite like I wanted to, so I'll up here a little bit. This whole area feels like it's going to be pretty good. I bet there's some fish right in this area. Oh, hang on. Hang on. I'd kind of like to be facing the wind instead of across it whenever it comes, but I can't not make a cast right over there. Or two or three. I just refuse to believe there's not a fish in that corner over there. Alright, so it's one fish. It could be a fluke, but I will say this. I never fish chatterbaits without a trailer. And I'm fishing this I told you there was a fish over there. Almost dropped that poor guy on my deck. Told you there's a fish over there. I am fishing this slobberknocker with no trailer. Oh, buddy. Okay, good. He came right out. I hooked him up out of his snout through both of his eyes. Little squeaker there, as is my incessant need. I gotta take a photo because I know it's on camera, but no, if it didn't happen, no photos, no, it didn't happen, right? All right, you back in there, little guy. Thanks for the bite. Told you guys. I can't not cast over there. There's fish. All right, so that's 2 fish on the Slobberknocker. No trailer. I took it out of the package yesterday. I tied it on to this combo, which now has a small bird's nest. And here I am. I'm 30 minutes in. GoPro says 36. I've been recording, and it's 2 fish. So at this current moment, given the circumstances, the Berkley Slobberknocker is my new bladed jig go-to. Oh, I didn't measure that fish. That was like a 6-8 incher. I don't know if the camera could tell, but it's a small guy. I'll leave that spot there. I'm planning on going up and then coming back and maybe anchoring a few times coming back to fish a little bit more. So I'll leave those fish there, maybe get another couple of them over here. That little guy hit harder than that bigger fish. That first fish was maybe a pound. It said it was 13.5 inches, I believe, is what that said on the board. And that one was maybe 8 inches. Nice little 1/4 pounder. But he hit it hard. He hit it so hard the hook came up through his snout, and like I said, through both of his eyes. So he must have been hungry. But what I've noticed, at least in this part of the river where I'm fishing a lot of the times, it's shad. These fish are after shad imitators. So I've got this, I think it's herring color Slobberknocker. It's just the white with like a little bit of tan or gold or something. I caught a lot of fish last year in this same stretch of the river on a War Eagle finesse spinnerbait that was just white, silver with a little bit of black. Looks just like shad. And then several of the other fish that I've caught, just here or there, have been on little square bills that again are little shad imitators. I don't think I've caught a single fish in this stretch of the Finley where I'm at right now on like a crawdad bait, whether it's a crawdad colored crankbait or a soft plastic craw. Nothing. I haven't caught them on craws. I've caught them on shad imitators. But I see shad up here all the time. Right, so every time I bring the kayak up here, because that's the only way you can get to this stretch. Yeah, I mean, you can get to it on the bank, maybe here or there, but primarily this stretch of the river through here, you're going to access with a kayak or like a John boat. So every time I'm up here with the kayak, I'm always like watching around because the shad, they're just always moving. Now I've seen some crawdads and stuff up near the boat ramp, but I've never seen craws up in here. The water stays pretty murky up in here. It's like, and you probably can't tell from the GoPro, but the water is like, it's murky. It's probably only 4 or 5 feet deep, but I can't see the bottom. So, I mean, it's like, it's an interesting thing because, there we go. Now that's ready for me next time I get fish. It's an interesting thing because like the water down near the boat launch in that general direction is super clear. Way more of what I'm used to, like really clear water. Really like bluish water, and then you get up in here and it's brown, it's murky, which is why like when I come here on these river trips on the kayak, I'm not really bringing many soft plastics or finesse lures. I'm bringing chatterbaits or slobberknockers or spinner baits or that kind of thing, because the water up in here is murky. If there's any wind at all and ripple on the water, but certainly like there is today, you gotta be flashing and making noise and getting their attention. So like up in here, like in this area, right? Like this area behind me, as you can see, it's, you could throw a rock from one bank to the other. Probably not more than 6 feet deep in the deepest area of this part of the river. Lots of overhanging roots and trees, limbs. What I'm throwing up in here is a chatterbait, a spinnerbait, and that's pretty much it in this situation. There's lots of other applications you could throw, but what I'm grabbing is a chatterbait, or in this case, slobberknocker, and a spinnerbait. And if I know that they're eating shad, because I know that 90% of the fish I've caught in this stretch of the river I've caught on shad imitators, then I'm throwing white or silver. Maybe a little bit of blue or black. Oh, come on. Can't tell me there's not a fish in there. There's always a fish here on this tree. Huh. Maybe on the way back. That's crazy. There's always a fish on that tree. I've called my shot so many times on that tree, it's ridiculous. Shad that just jumped right here by my boat. Might also try to mix up the retrieve. See, that's the other thing. If you can make the right casts and get it in the right places, and they're not eating, which to be fair, I've had 2 bites here, 3 bites. Number 3, another kind of small guy, but right in the roof of his mouth. That's slobberknocker doing work. Another little guy, but hey. Fish. Here's the deal. I'm not in a tournament today. It's a Sunday afternoon. It's a beautiful day. I'm out fishing. I'm just trying to catch fish, right? I'm not trying to break records. I'm not trying to break records. Of course I want to catch a big fish. If you're a fisherman, you want to catch big fish. I mean, let's not mince words here. Be silly about it. But I am 100% content coming out here and catching 10 to 12 inchers, ½ pound to 1 pounders, and just like hammering them all day. I'm 100% fine with that, because at my core, just had one eat me right there at the boat. Now I'm headed right toward it. I need to slow down. This whole area, I probably do need to anchor down and try to fish this area a little bit more thoroughly, but part of me is like, the wind's not hammering me that hard yet, so I mess with it. Back to what I was saying though. I'm perfectly content and fine, because I'm just, at heart, I'm a fisherman, and I just love catching fish. I'm perfectly fine spending 4-5 hours out here today on the kayak, pulling in 8 to 10, 12 inchers, maybe catching one that's a pound or two at some point. But even that, like, I mean, even if I don't catch that, if that's all I catch today, those, what, 3 that I've caught so far, it's great. I came out, I didn't get skunked, I caught fish. It's a good day. So, if you're one of those guys like me who's like, I don't have a ton of time to fish, I don't get to fish as much as I want, you can't tell if that's a big turtle or a snake up there. I'm gonna hang out here for a minute. Water's kind of murky, I can only see kind of the head sticking out. If you're like me that's like, oh, I only get to fish, you know, once every week or once every couple of weeks. Woo. Cloud cover just picked up noise. When you do come out, you're just catching sweetness and dinks, and you're just frustrated with yourself, like, geez, why can't I catch big fish or better fish or fatter fish or what this or that or whatever? Don't beat yourself up. Don't be so frustrated. Like, you're catching fish, and that's what you set out to do, right? When you put your kayak or your boat in the water, you came down to the bank or whatever you did, you came out here to catch fish. So if you catch fish, that's a win, right? So you will never hear me complaining, oh man, I only caught 8 to 10 inch fish today and nothing worth taking a picture of or putting on the scale or this or that. You'll never hear me say that. I'm always going to be happy that I'm catching fish. And if you don't feel that way, just come out a couple of days and get skunked. You'll become more appreciative real fast. That last fish I did mix up my retrieve a little bit. That's what I was talking about maybe doing, was mixing up my retrieve. I'm doing a little start-stop kind of thing. Oh, I think that was a lily pad. I hit that like it was a fish, but I don't think it was. I mean, something may have ticked at it, but... Alright, Wayne, I see what you're doing. That was a really big turtle right there. I'm talking turtle shell as big as my head, probably. Area's a little more open. Yep, I'm about to get blown into this bank. This may be the area that I need to use the anchor for the first time. Kind of out here. Yeah, these trees open up and it's quite a bit more open. So the beaver dam is right up there, maybe 100 yards, maybe a little more than that. And I try not to go too close to it. Like, I'm definitely not getting right up in it, but I'll normally try to stay, 50 to 100 yards, 50, 75, 100 yards, something like that, away from that beaver dam. That I don't get into their territory or make them too angry. The last thing I want to do is record a beaver attack on GoPro. I don't know, maybe that's the way to go though. Maybe if I want a video to go viral, I just need to mess with some beavers up here and go to war with some beavers in a kayak. I gotta say, so far, I'm very impressed with the Slobberknocker. No trailer, didn't even trim the skirt. Like I said, I literally took it out of the package, tied it on, and started throwing it this morning. So I don't know, I may become a power bait nut. I don't know, probably remains to be seen a little bit, but if we crush them today on this Slobberknocker, yeah, I might become it's not that I'm not a power bait believer. Like, I understand and I believe the science and the testing that they've done. I believe it's a real thing. Like, I don't, Berkley as a company is too big and too popular and too historic, I guess, to be like just straight up lying to us and tricking everyone, pros included. But at the same time, I always kind of thought, like, all right, I'm sure it works, I'm sure it's great, but really? And 3 fish in the first 45 minutes of fishing with a lure that is not really tuned at all, if you want to call it that. I mean, like I said, with chatterbaits I do normally trim the skirt, the trailer, those things, so don't mind me just paddling backwards against the wind to try to stay in position for my next cast. This is really about as close to that beaver dam as I'm going to get, which is frustrating because I see some big birds up there, and you just know that where there are birds, there are fish. I mean, the wind is truly like swirling. I was just paddling backwards to save my life, and now here I am having to paddle this forwards to save my life. It is swirling back here. I don't think that this is going to be very beneficial. I think that whole area where I caught a couple of quick ones, there's a lot of good areas back there. There's one or two particular spots here that I could get some calm for like 2 minutes and make about 10 casts into the, is that, oh, I'm not 100% sure that was a fish. There are some pads. there are some pads right there, so I'm wondering if those were, if that was a pad. If I can get up, get rid of that tree right there. I don't think the wind's going to let me do that here. Okay. I think it's time to turn around. Fish back the other way into this section here. Maybe drop the anchor a couple of times. Let's see if I can get a couple more. All right. I think it's anchor time. I think if I can anchor myself kind of like this. Oh boy. That is very tangled. Yes, very tangled. But I'm on the bottom. Put that on so I don't lose that. Alright, and then my makeshift plan, since I don't have an actual anchoring system right now, is just to kind of loop it around the paddle holder right here a few times. All right. Now, all right, right down there. Cool. Now the wind might end up being so strong that it doesn't matter. This anchor doesn't help, but it's worth a shot. It'll keep me kind of where I want to be generally. Keep me off of the banks and out of the trees where I can make more casts. That's really all I can ask for. I'm pretty sure that was a fish. There's some weight to this, but I think it's got some crap on it. Yeah. Got some leaves or something on it. I'll be honest, like I haven't really picked up on a pattern yet, which might sound weird and might probably makes it sound like I'm a really bad angler, which to be fair, I've never claimed to be like a great one, but those fish I did catch was like were like they're just along the bank. I mean, there wasn't really any cover they were relating to necessarily, or anything like that. It was just kind of along the bank. There was that one that was like in the tree, like in that area. I was like, yeah, there's a fish here. Other than that, there's not been a pattern. Like those 3 fish were in like kind of 3 different areas. Hey, no! I will say, one of the negatives of the kayak, especially if I'm facing the wrong way or got the rod the wrong direction, setting the hook can sometimes not be the best. That is not at all going to make me stop kayak fishing, ever. Oh man, that was a big fish under there. Okay, let's see what we can do. Put this bad boy up. So, here for right now. Hope that it doesn't get too tangled. Head to where I just saw this big fish. Alright, that was one of 2 things. It was a big fish jumping underneath this overhanging tree, or it was a small animal or child falling off the tree into the water. And I really hope it was the former. Because if it was the latter, I'm about to look like a really bad person by going over here and trying to catch it with a fishing lure. So here we go. Here's hoping it was a fish. This whole area looks pretty fishy. Yeah, it was definitely a fish. And it's a good fish. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Stay hooked, stay hooked, stay hooked. Yes! Come on, bro. Yes! I was right. It was not a small child or some animal. It was, in fact, this donkey of a river fish. Come on, bro. All right. See? Yeah, don't do that. Close your mouth. Against the board. 15 and a quarter. What a great fish. That's probably a pound and a half, maybe, maybe even more. Great fish. Woo! Show off. That was right there. I don't know if you guys can see it in the GoPro the way it's facing. Right there in that little overhanging tree. I heard a big splash and immediately pulled up the anchor, moved the kayak down, dropped the anchor again. It was my third cast in there. So the first cast, I felt like a little knock, but I knew it wasn't like that substantial, so I didn't really do anything. The second cast in there, nothing, but I was a little bit off. I was like kind of more up away from the tree. That third cast put it right where it splashed. 2 cranks, boom, nailed it. What a good fish. Oh man. Not that heavy, like, you know, if you're going for like weight, like I said, pound and a half, maybe a bit more. 15 and a quarter inches though for a kayak tournament is a good fish, especially coming out of this river. A 15 and a quarter inch fish is a good size fish. That is a great Finley fish. Really stoked about that. And I mean, Slobberknocker, look at that. The skirt's not trimmed, there's no trailer, there's just nothing. There's just this fluttering through the water on a windy day in some murky water. And I think that was fish number 4. That was by far the biggest one. He was hooked pretty well too. So I'll say this about the Slobberknocker. All of the new Berkley baits, they use their like Fusion 19 hooks. I love Fusion 19 hooks. I get a lot of terminal and like mystery tackle boxes, so I don't buy a ton of terminal. Any terminal that I buy myself, I buy Berkley Fusion. If they've got the hook for the application I want it for, I buy Berkley Fusion. I think they're incredible hooks. And they've got those hooks on all of their baits. There's another. This one's just as good. Ooh, this one might be bigger. Come on, buddy. Get tired. Right in the top of the schnoz, guys. Look at that. Right in the top of the mouth. I do think this one is bigger. This may actually be that big fish that I was seeing. Come on, get out of there. Look at that. If that's not the same fish, it is slightly bigger. Let's see. This is a bigger fish. I can already tell. All right. Close your mouth, big guy. Or girl. Yep, that's a 16. That is a 16. Kind of bleeding in the snout a little bit, so I'm going to get him back. What a great fish. There you go, big guy. Or girl. Guys, that was the same spot. The wind's kind of blowing me around. The anchor is helping a lot. I'm not going to lie, because the way the wind is blowing, I'm kind of just blowing in circles. I would have only been able to make 1, maybe 2 casts at that tree without this anchor, just because of the wind. And I made a few casts over at this tree, hanging over here, where it comes up a little shallow. There's some branches over here. I made a couple more casts at that. That was in that same tree. So that might have been a male female moving up on bed. The water feels pretty cold, but to be fair, like river fish are just different animals. They'll bed in colder water, or they'll spawn, sorry, in colder water, just because the water is typically colder in rivers until it gets really hot, like in the summertime. So those could have been 2 fish on a bed, male, female. Got 15 1/4 and then 16. Shoot, with that 13 earlier, I got 13, 15 1/4, 16. I don't have any pictures of them on the board, unfortunately. I got to start doing that. Maybe next time I come out with the kayak and the board, I'll start practicing, because that kind of thing. Because I did sign up for the mock summer series for May, so I am going to have to start practicing and putting fish on the board and stuff like that. So I probably will start doing that next time I come out. Right now I'm fun fishing, and dude, this is fun. When that fish hit, I thought, did I just catch the same fish? I'm not gonna lie, when it was here near the boat, I was kind of letting it get a little tired, because I knew I hooked it good. When I saw it here, I was like, oh, it's hooked in the snout. It's not going anywhere. I let it kind of run and get tired, get a little tired, and I was like, I think I may have even said, I'll have to go back and look at the clip, but I may have even said, like, I think this might be the same fish. I knew if it wasn't the same fish, it was bigger. Just the way that it hit the lure. I was like, it's either the same fish that's angry that this lure is back in its house, or it's the bigger, like, mama fish. And she's like, all right, daddy didn't take care of business. I'm gonna get rid of this thing. So yeah, that may have been a male female that were on a bed. And if those 2 fish were spawning on bed, male female, that's good news for this part of the river for sure, because those 2 really good fish up shallow underneath there, if that's the kind of fish, the quality of fish that are reproducing in this river, that makes me excited. Because I said earlier, I will never complain about squeakers or dinks, never. I will always be happy that I've caught fish. However, I mean, you catch 2 fish back to back like that, that's pretty sick. That's the type of thing that gets you excited. Catching dinks and little fish, lots of little fish, they're fun. Not gonna lie, tons of fun. Love it. But you catch a few of those big ones like that, and come on, that's what we're after. Oh, smashed the kayak there. Surprised I didn't backlash. I think I got hung up in a lily pad there, because definitely didn't feel like a bite. This is that same area, that same little stretch, maybe 100-yard stretch, that I caught my first 3. So I know you guys are looking this way at me, otherwise this video would be kind of weird. But there's a tree right up here, so there's where I caught the 2 big fish, right here off the kayak. Up 20-30 yards is the tree where I caught my first fish, and then over here on this stretch of bank on the other side is where I caught those other 2 smaller ones, or maybe it was 2 over here and 1 over here. Can't remember exactly, but they were all in this like 100-yard stretch right here. Really, like in all of these overhanging trees. You guys, I'm telling you, the anchor is huge. One of the most frustrating things for me as a kayak angler primarily is the wind. I hate when there's wind, because you're in such a shallow, lightweight boat. You just get blown everywhere. But even just having a little, I think it's from Bass Pro, 3.5 pound anchor. I mean, it's caught me those 2 fish. The 2 biggest fish of the day, I caught because of the anchor. So I'd invest in one. Go to Bass Pro. I think they sell them at Walmart too, honestly. And go get yourself a little 3.5 pound, like claw style anchor that folds up. I literally just fold mine up, set it behind my seat, and then if you guys have watched my kayak walkthrough with my perception here, you'll know that like it's got on the side here, like with these tackle, where I've got my tackle bag right here, my saddle bag, and it's got trays on either side of the kayak just for, you know, odds and ends, storage, saddlebags, that kind of thing. And it's like perfect for like my anchor storage. You know, I just kind of wrapped it around my paddle clip right there, just so that it's secured, and then I, you know, anchored it to my seat. But yeah, I pull it up, it just sits here in the tray. All the extra can sit there in the tray. I put it underneath my seat a lot of times. Like, look at that. You can probably hear the wind just ripping through here. I mean, I'm swaying on the anchor point, but I'm still right here where the fish are. So definitely a huge investment. I think I'm going to do an anchor wizard system on this kayak if I can figure out, you know, exactly how I want to do it. Because the shape of the kayak is kind of weird. You know, with these rod holsters here, it kind of goes up and then back down. So it's a little odd. But I mean, I'm sure I can get it figured out and do it. And I am definitely planning on doing that this summer. And I'll film videos of all the kayak mods that I'm going to do. Like I said, the anchor is going to be one of them. There's got to be a fish back in there. It's like a log laying over and then some brush. Cast up over it and pop it over the log. Yeah, right there. That was a little dicey. That was interesting. Wind just picked up. I was facing that way. Anchor is on this side. Wind picked up and just blew me straight this way, and the anchor caught underneath the boat, and I kind of wobbled there for a second. That was that could have been interesting if I had bad balance, or the wind was a little heavier, or there was any current back here. See, that's the thing, this little creek arm, there's hardly any current for as big as this is. Okay. Good. Okay, guys. Well, if the angle is really bad, which it looks like it is, let me see if I can scoot up and get it a little bit better. There we go. Maybe that's better. If the angle's of this video are bad, and you think, and this guy doesn't know what he's doing, you're exactly right. I started recording videos like last year, maybe. So yeah, I definitely don't know what I'm doing when it comes to cinematography, filming, all that stuff. I'm just kind of out here doing this because I think it's fun, right? Like I'm having a good time. I love to fish. I wanted to start recording it, and like every other YouTuber, just decided I might as well put these on YouTube and see if maybe my blunders or errors, or when I occasionally stumble across doing it right, maybe that can help somebody else. So that's all I'm doing. I'm just a normal dude. There's a big turtle coming at me right here. That's what I thought, bro. It wasn't as big as I thought it was. Still convinced there's a fish over there. I don't think I can get to it from this angle though. Maybe the boat will swing around. There we go, that's the cast I wanted. I think I need to get a little further up. There, maybe. I don't know though. I mean, I'm in a good spot. I've caught like 5 fish in this general area. I don't really know that I want to mess with it too much. While I'm agonizing and just making casts and trying to decide, I'll take a minute to tell you about the gear I'm throwing. I brought 3 rods with me today. I brought a 7-foot medium heavy fast with a spinnerbait that has, I believe, 10-pound monofilament on it. That's a massive, massive turtle and a baby turtle right there. That's actually kind of cool. That's my Abu Garcia combo back here. Got a 5/16 War Eagle finesse spinnerbait. That's what I caught a lot of fish on out here last year. I mean, a lot. So that was my first setup. Second setup is the one I got in my hands right here. This is a 7-foot medium fast Lew's American Hero combo with, I want to say that's 12-pound monofilament on it. Yeah, I think it's 12-pound monofilament. And then my third setup is my Lew's American Hero spinning combo that has, I think, 10-pound monofilament on it. Now, if you're a more savvy angler than I am, you're probably sitting there going, why do you have 3 combos of different applications, speeds, powers, different lures? Oh, and I've got a gilly, Berkley gilly, rigged up on the spinning combo, but I don't know if I'm even going to need finesse gear today. I'm just power fishing straight into the mouths of these fish. Why are you fishing all those different combos, lures, and everything on almost the same type of line, right? 8 or 10 to 12 pound monofilament. Why would you not use fluoro or braid or whatever? And the answer for me is that in all actuality, I think for the average angler who's doing what I'm doing, just kayaking out in the river and doing some shallow water fishing for, there might be a 4 or 5 pounder lurking in here, but chances are that big girl that I caught out of that tree stump right there, chances are that's the biggest fish in this stretch of the river. So I'm not trying to swing giants. The water is murky. I just don't think it really matters that much. And I'm probably gonna get some hate in the comments from people, like I said, savvier anglers than me, people who know how to fish a lot better and caught way more and way nicer fish than me. Who will just tell you, no, that's not right, that's wrong, whatever. And don't get me wrong, I know that there's applications for fluoro, for braid, for different, setups with different power rods and all that good. I know that that's all like a thing. But what I also know is that last year at Lake Fork, I was fishing a 1/2 ounce football jig and boat flipped a 5.5 pounder on my dad's bass boat with this combo. 7 foot medium fast with 10 or 12 pound monofilament line. Not at all the right setup, but I only had 3 rods with me that day too. This was the only one that had enough line on it to do some deep jigging. Tied it on, caught my PB. So I'm like, I just don't think it matters as much as we make it out to matter for the average fisherman. For the guy who's out here in a plastic boat like me, just throwing a slobberknocker around the river, I honestly don't think it makes as much difference as we think it does. Was that a fish? I'm 50-50 on that one. I felt some resistance, but I don't know if that was a fish. So I say all that, I go on that rant and say all of that basically to tell you, if you're sitting there at home watching this video going, man, YouTube, I'm worn out of fishing YouTube because guys are just out there with their bass boats, 20 combos on the deck that each cost $1,000 with, sponsorships with all these companies and all that, and I just, I'm just a regular guy who's out here trying to catch fish. I'm here to tell you, I'm a regular guy too. I bought that combo and that combo at Bass Pro with Christmas money last year because I couldn't afford to just buy it outright, any time of the year. And they're not that expensive. I think they were both under $100, or maybe just over. They weren't that expensive. All right, I feel like this is the next good stopping point. that Abu Garcia combo at Walmart. And on clearance at that. So it was $45. If you guys don't learn anything or take away anything from any of my videos apart from this, listen to this, please. You do not have to break the bank to catch fish and have a good time. I've caught 5 fish today on really what a lot of guys would call a budget combo. With really if you want to get technical, the wrong line, the wrong lure that's not set up or fine-tuned the right way. But I'm still out here catching fish and I'm having a great time. And you can too. Whatever your budget is, buy what you think you need or want in that budget. Get the types of things you need to catch fish, right? Because you need certain lures and certain applications, certain times, places. But get those things dialed in and get those right at whatever budget you have. And then just go whack them. Just go have fun. You don't have to have a $500 combo to have a good time fishing. Proving that right now. Ooh, I think something's playing with me. I'm not convinced that was a fish, but that one definitely wasn't. There's grass all over that thing. So yeah, rant over. Okay. No more ranting. Let's just fish. Haven't caught a fish in a while. Okay, I was about to get so upset. I only brought one of these Slobberknockers. To be fair, I only have one in this color. So I was about to get really upset if I had just lost it in that stick because I made a bad cast. Also, my rod is right next to the GoPro, so if I catch a fish and I lose you guys, it was nice knowing you. Oh, there we go. Go over the log, kill it. Oh no! Remember that log I was talking about earlier? That one that I said there's no way there's not a fish there? I just gotta cast behind it and pop over it. There was a fish there. Felt like a pretty good one too. But I goofed. Man. Got insane for a second. Oh, no, nope. I have got to get better at that. There we go. Been river fishing my entire life. You'd think that I'd be really good at making little roll casts underneath overhanging limbs. Average at best. I'll tell you guys, I'm convinced part of the reason I don't catch more fish is that I'm not great at casting into tight areas. Like, I'll look at a spot and I'll be like, there's a fish there. 100%, there's got to be a fish there. If there's not a fish there, I probably shouldn't even be here. Even if it's a dink, I'm like, there's just got to be a fish there. The problem is, half the time, I'll see that spot and I'll go, yep, there it is. There's a fish right there. And then I make a cast toward it, and my cast goes like, there's another really good one. Well, I say really good one. It's a good one. Ah! Come here, you. Come here. There we go. Whew. Man. Berkley Slobberknocker. You should go get yourself one. That's all I can say. Go get yourself one. All right, buddy. Let's put you on the board. See what you're at. Close your mouth. Close your mouth for me. That's 13 and a half. 13 and a half. It's a good fish. Yep, I know, buddy. I'm about to put you back in. Beautiful, beautiful line all the way through the tail. Show off. That fish was right in there along the bank in those lily pads. I love this stretch of the river because you've got these overhanging trees that you know hold fish. There's some current breaks. There's grass patches with some pads like there. There's pads all along this bank. There's so much like fishable area that you just know that it holds fish. So I love coming to this stretch. Another one on the Slobberknocker. See if we can't get a few more. Oh, really? Thought for sure. These Fusion 19 hooks pin them good. That guy was hooked in the side of the mouth, which you know it's if the hook isn't in it good, it can be dicey sometimes. But it was pinned. It's another really good one. Calm down. Come on. Nope, nope, nope. I'm so happy that my net decided to crap on itself. This guy's looks like he's been hooked a few times. Right in the roof of the mouth. Slobberknocker again. I'm telling you, I'm sold. Look at this fish, guys. That is the biggest one of the day. He's also got some stuff going on with his mouth right there. Phew. I don't know, I've still got my hood up. That's the biggest fish of the day, ladies and gentlemen. That's a 2-pounder, maybe more. I know, you still got some fight in you. Let's close that mouth up. Close it up. Get against the board there. Close it up. 16 1/4, ladies and gentlemen. 16 1/4. I'll have to go back and look at my bag here. See you, buddy. Thanks for the bite. I'll have to go back, or maybe as I'm watching the footage, I'll pop up like the length on the screen or write it down or something like that so that I know kind of what my bag was. Because when I fish like the KBF Challenge series every month, or I fish this mock summer series challenge, I'd really like to. There's a four-wheeler up in there. A lot of this is private property off down this way. But fishing the mock series challenge this summer, or KBF monthly like challenge series or whatever, I'd like to fish this stretch of the river because I know it. I know where the fish are. I know how to catch them here. I think I've proved that today. My only concern with this stretch of the Finley River is that I've never really caught the caliber of fish that I feel like I need to catch to be able to be competitive in a kayak tournament. I feel like I've caught a lot of fish here, but they've all been around the really 12-inch range, maybe even less, right? Stay in position. Yeah, I haven't caught a lot of fish in the size range that I need to at least feel like I have a chance to be competitive, right? So today, catching, off the top of my head, the ones that I've measured, I'll probably forget this, but I think 13, 15 1/4, 16, and now that one, or then another 13, and then now a 16 1/2. I think that was what that one was. That makes me feel pretty confident that like this stretch of the river here is holding fish that are good enough size to board, good enough size to photo. Who knows? Maybe give me a chance to be competitive in the Missouri, challenge or whatever. So we'll just have to see. Big part of today, though, that's the big player, is this guy right here. This is a difference maker. I've come this stretch of the river maybe a dozen times last year with other bladed jigs from other brands and caught fish, but not caught as many as quickly and of the caliber that I'm catching them with this Slobberknocker. So I mean, it's the key today. Let's fish 6, 7 maybe. I will say this, it is not often that I come out fishing and on camera say, I can't remember how many fish I've caught. Normally I'm getting to the end of the GoPro batteries or the end of the SD card and going, all right, I'll delete that when I get home because I caught one fish or 4 skunked. Now here I am going, is that 7 fish? Or is that 6? I don't know. Rewind the tape. This is awesome. I almost didn't come out today. I'll just be frank with you guys. I almost didn't come out today because I knew the wind was going to be up so high. And I was like, even with the anchor, I'm just not sure about it. I don't know. So I almost didn't come out. And then I got home from church and my 3-year-old son, who's just the most amazing little kid. He was out in the garage yesterday helping me rig up my rods and organize stuff for the kayak and everything. And he came out to the garage with me today after church. And he was like, Daddy, you need to load your kayak. You need to put the kayak on the truck. And I said, well, buddy, I still haven't decided if I'm going to go today. It's pretty windy and might be kind of cold out there. And he said, you need to load the kayak. So popped him up in the bed of my truck. He helped me strap down the kayak. And here I am. Having the best day I've had on the Finley since we moved here. I've had days where I've caught a handful of fish and like a couple of good ones. I have not had a day like this where I've caught this many fish and this many good fish. The last 3 or 4 fish I've caught have been good ones. Work this along that line of pads. Last fish, like I said, was the biggest of the day. That was probably I bet it was a 2-pounder. It may have been even bigger. I mean, I doubt it was much bigger. I'm not going to say it was like a 3 or 4-pounder, but it was easily 2.5. Backwards for a second. Because the great thing about this bladed jig, this Slobberknocker, is not even just that it's, well, I mean, it's been catching me tons of fish today. It's not even just that it's like great just out of the package. But like if you're a beginner angler watching this, first of all, listen to my budget thing. Just get the gear you want at the price you can afford. Go out and catch fish. That's all it takes. But also, like, if you're new to fishing or you're not that comfortable yet or whatever, I mean, it doesn't have to be a slobberknocker. I'm gonna say you should get a slobberknocker because it's been murdering the bass for me today. But get a bladed jig, because apart from like occasionally changing up my retrieve to like a stop and go, where like I'll be reeling it, I'll stop reeling and let it, you know, kill it for like half a second and then reel it again. Other than that, I'm just casting and retrieving. It's a great beginner lure that like even advanced anglers can't put down. I'm not saying I'm an advanced angler. I'm just saying, like, from beginner to pro, the bladed jig is just something that you can fish without having to really know. You know, I'm not gonna tell a beginner to pick up a football jig or a shaky head or Ned rig, or, you know, something that requires finesse and some skill, technique. I'm gonna say, hey, pick up a bladed jig, pick up a square bill crankbait, or some kind of crankbait. Alright, I guess we're going down river. Also don't want to get like sideways to the wind. That's probably not the best idea. There we go. I wanted to stop at this whole stretch of bank anyway, so thanks for trying to ruin the day, wind. You just made my day a little bit better. Alright, this should be a good position here. Maybe we can sit here for a minute or two. Yeah, pick up a bladed jig, pick up a square bill crankbait or a crankbait of some kind, a spinner bait, a plopping style bait like a whopper plopper, Berkley Chopo, even the Ozark Trail brand of all of these lures. Pick up one of those lures, just chuck it and wind it. Cast it out, reel it in, do it again at a slightly different spot, because really, in my opinion, when it comes down to fishing water where you think that there could be a lot of fish in a lot of different places, the name of the game is just covering water. When I'm fishing a football jig, it's because I know that that's what needs to be done, because I need to fish slow or I need to fish a certain way because the fish are doing something specific. But really it's just, most of the time it's about covering water, making casts where you think fish are, and then doing it again. So yeah, get those types of lures, make lots of casts. You know, the technique you use with like a bladed jig, or is that, oh, okay, it's a stick. I was like, there's no way that's a fish, it's not fighting or anything. Yeah, the technique you use with a bladed jig is really just mixing up the retrieve. Stop it, wind it. Wind it fast, stop it. Just mixing it up a little bit. But really all you're doing is just, you're covering water, making casts. The fish are going to react to the lure and eat it instead of like thinking about it and trying to eat it. That's why I think, you know, often finesse fishing is necessary, because you've got pressured water, you've got maybe clear conditions, maybe just fish that are finicky, it's hot, they're lethargic, or it's cold and they're not that active. So, you know, you need to finesse fish a little bit, but it's just tough, because when you're finesse fishing, you're trying to convince the fish to eat your lure, and that can be tough if you don't do it right or have the right presentation or whatever. Whereas reaction baits like this bladed jig or crankbaits or whatever, the fish sees it and goes, I gotta eat that. Yikes, I gotta get out of this tree. I'm gonna ruin my combos. Let's see if that anchor, maybe if I move up just slightly. problem is, like, I want to fish both of these banks. I can't really position myself. The anchor will catch and like turn me one way, and then the wind will blow me another. Yeah, if I could just stay in this position right here. Because I'm 2.5 hours in. I really don't think I'm going to throw anything other than this Slobberknocker today. But no need to. Alright, I'm starting to spin again. There's some good areas up here. This area I'm casting at right here looks really good. Crazy that, like, I'm at a point right now in the day where that anchor is spinning. I gotta figure out that anchor system on the back so that I can make sure I'm facing the right way when the wind starts blowing me. I mean, to be fair, underneath these trees looks pretty good too, so. Not as convinced the fish are right there as I am convinced that they're right over there. But hey, it's honestly the great thing about the river, though, is especially a river this size. Like I said, you could toss a rock from one bank to the other. It's not that wide, not that deep. The fish can be anywhere. They can be tucked up in the banks, in the overhangs, current breaks, structure. There can be a hump or something in the middle here where they're just sitting in the middle. Like I said, I don't think it's quite spawning time for the bass just yet, so they're probably not up on the banks, on the beds, but even this stretch of the river probably doesn't get more than, who knows, 6 or 8 feet deep. So the beds don't have to be up shallow. The beds can be anywhere. So you can make a cast anywhere and potentially catch a fish, because they could be anywhere. I mean, do not get me wrong, I love fishing the lake. Fished the lake last weekend with my wife for our anniversary trip, and we had a blast. Caught a couple fish, had a couple more bites. We had a great time out on the lake in the kayaks. But I mean, the river is where I'm at, man. The river is where it's at for me. It's just always been my place. So I'm thinking about, unless you guys give me some other like better name and comments or something like that, I'm thinking about titling my podcast the River Rat Podcast. River Rat, or like Yak Bassin. I don't know, playing with a couple of those ideas. See where they go. The wind's blowing me the other direction. Come on, make up your mind. Now watch, I'm gonna blow into this tree. Why is it this tree? No. You cannot have my combos. Why is it that tree? I'm over there, the wind blows me this way into the tree. I'm over here, the wind blows me this way into that tree. That's the deal. I may also be in like a deeper spot where the anchor isn't all the way in the... Yeah, there's no way that anchor is all the way on the bottom. It just hit, but alright, you're gonna keep me here. Jeez. One thing there's no shortage of in this area, at least in the Finley. I haven't done much exploring in the James or Lake Springfield, but in the Finley there's no shortage of turtles. I mean, there are just turtles everywhere in all different sizes. Pretty sure it's another one. Yep. Decent. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Stay out of the boat until I bring you into the boat. There we go. Yeah, another decent one. Oh man. Barely skin hooked. Look at that. Pulled right out. I don't know why. I was like playing him, being all calm and cool, trying to get him to get tired, and I barely had him hooked. A good little fish. I don't know, maybe 10 inches. I'll throw him on the board. Let me get my photo first. I really don't know what number fish that is now. So let's throw this guy on the board. The little guys are the feistiest ones. Yep, I see him wanting to. Here we go. Not legal, 11 inches. Hey, 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 hey. You're just gonna hurt yourself, little guy. 11 inches. So, not tournament legal, but fun little fish. Keep her easy. I don't know if I'm throwing these fish back weird or if they're just like spiteful and hateful. That's like the 4th fish today that has just flipped right back up in the water and splashed me in the face. It's like, hey jerk, thanks for the hook in the face. Here's some water in yours. Not sure what that was about, but maybe I deserved it. I don't know. I'm trying to get them back in the water fairly gently and nicely. They're just splashing me. Well, little guy, but like I said, I'll never complain about a fish, especially a bass. Now, if I'm getting hit all day long with just like dozens of little tiny bluegill, then yeah, I might complain. But I will never complain about a bass or a crappie, because crappie are good eating. You will never hear me complain about a crappie, a bass, really anything other than a bluegill. If I'm catching dozens of bluegill and they're like really ruining the fish I'm fishing for, then yeah, I'll complain. Other than that, no, I will not complain. I'll be honest with you, even a good bluegill though, I'm not going to complain about a good bluegill. Fish is a fish and they're fun to catch. I can't believe that there's not one right there. Gosh. There's like a little bit of clear water up here and I can see some roots. There's like a limb hanging over. I guess it's not roots. There's like a limb hanging over and I can see the limb in the water. Just giving some perfect cover. I believe there wasn't a fish sitting there. We had like 4 casts at it. fish there, just needed 5 casts. Whoop. Oh. Ooh. Little shad darting all over the place. That means there's big fish somewhere around here that's trying to eat them. Surprised there was not a fish up under that tree. There's like a tree that's at the shoreline, half in the water, half out. I can't really, it's hard to believe that there's not fish there. Super comfortable about being in this position again. The anchor is also not like. There we go. Whoa! That grabbed hard. Okay. Good to know. Don't think I'm going anywhere. That anchor grabbed me while I was paddling. I don't think any wind can take me anywhere now. See if I can catch another fish or two. Hope I don't get backed into this tree. That's the only thing I'm really concerned about right now. What sucks is I'd like to fish underneath it. I'd like to fish underneath this tree, but let's see if I can yank. Oh yeah, that's hung in there on something good. Come here. Oh boy. There we go. Ooh. Like I said, lifesaver. But if it gets really hung on something, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Alright, I gotta figure out a way to get locked right here. Spot lock right here. No. Alright. Let's make a couple casts right, pretty much right there. Really hope this doesn't catch. Flip the kayak. No, we're just going to turn the kayak. Okay. Well, that
Whew. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that was a ton of fun. I had a great day out on the water. Yeah, I ended up even getting in a good workout rowing back to the boat ramp. So great day on the water. I caught 3 more fish, I think, after the GoPro died. And I'll prove it with some photos that I'll pop up on the screen right now. A few more fish, which was a lot of fun. covered up the camera there on accident while I was moving the phone. Yeah, just had a great time out there. Loved playing with the Berkley Slobberknocker. I'm not gonna lie, I took 3 combos out. I did not touch the 2 that did not have the Slobberknocker. The American Hero combo with the Slobberknocker on it, that's the only one I threw all day. Didn't make a single cast with the other 2, and caught like 12 or 13 fish, which is the most I've ever caught out of the James in that amount of time. It wasn't that long. I was only out there, I think I got on the water about 2, maybe just after 2 o'clock, and it's 5:23 right now, so call it 3.5 hours, and I got like I said, I think 12 maybe fish in like 2.5 hours. Yeah, just a great day on the water. I'm gonna have to be throwing that Slobberknocker a lot more this summer, especially come tournament time. I think that told me all I need to know about this section of the James when it comes time for a kayak tournament. So that's gonna be tied on probably all summer. If I'm honest, I'll probably have that tied on all summer. But thank you guys so much for checking out another video. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Like this video for more fishing content. I'm gonna do some kayak and boat stuff, and then lures, and then the podcast and stuff this summer, but definitely gonna make a lot of fishing content. So give the upward thumbie if you like just fishing content, because I love doing that too. Make sure, like I said, make sure that you're subscribed, like the video, share it, drop a comment down below with what you guys think of the Slobberknocker. I love it. I love it, and I'm gonna be throwing it a lot more. So thanks for checking out the video, guys. We will see you on the next one. Peace.